Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello all. Today we're going to have a magical session with our brilliant guest, Miss Britta Glade, the Senior Director of Content and Creation for the RSA Conference. And she has been in this community about 30 years, where she has been delivering endlessly above and beyond to our cybersecurity society and industry. She's also a mother of a beautiful two princesses, which we're going to touch base on that during our conversation. Starting with our conversation first, we would like to welcome you, Britta, and thank you so much for being generous with us and giving us time to contribute into this session.
It's my honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Britta, when your role in planning the RSA conference and drafting all of this magical enchanted scripts and injecting this fun and interesting actually spirit where it really made it unique. And for us, at least in WiCSME 2020, when we were developing the conference architect and layout and all of that, one of the best benchmarking we were looking at is the RSA conference. To us, it was like a role model to follow in our conference layout. So what did Britta do to give it that magical best role model where it really signified its presence among many forums and cybersecurity events?
Oh, well, first, thank you. Thank you for that compliment. We work very hard with the RSA conference to try to make sure that it speaks to and is of interest to the entire cybersecurity community, which is large, and that's the parallel to your conference that you're putting together, and the importance of recognizing that there's wonderful contributors that come from all stages of career. And that's important. That's an important bellwether of diversity, is making sure we do have those people from all different stages of career. Learning and education is extremely important. That's something we all need to reach to our entire life. And as you said, yes, mother of two girls, and you want to make sure they also recognize that learning and education is a constant activity to engage with in life. We also know that the adult learner learns best with a variety of formats. You've seen across RSA conference, we've introduced different types of sessions, different lengths of sessions. Some are very hands-on, some are a traditional presentation, presenting out. We try to make sure there's fun. We try to make sure there's surprise. Surprise and delight is the term that we use. Some things that you can look forward to on an agenda, and some things that just magically happen. But I think the greatest magic that comes within our industry is from each other. We have an amazing community of experts, and all of us, and I think we'll discuss this and explore this in this conversation. All of us have some little piece of expertise within us. Some of us it's small, some of us it's large, some of it it's us. We're growing and progressing at different stages on pathways. But that willingness to share expertise and become involved and get to know people and really care about those people throughout their career. This is not a one-time experience. You're there and then you're never there anymore. We really are all on a journey together. And the better we work with and support one another, frankly, the safer our whole world is as a result of our efforts.
Amazing. And when you have mentioned that we're there to support each other and together, and it's really a journey, you have mentioned as well that there's a type of expertise in each one of us. So you're talking about recognition and appreciating each role. I have seen that, and as you mentioned, in the diversity of RSA conference, and the magical find yourself tree. You know how that touched everyone's hearts, and everyone was really finding themselves into that content. And this is what we feel with the RSA when it comes to selecting where do we want to go, because you did provide a variety and diversity of contents for all of these different ages and all of the different careers and even expertise. When you did this whole creation and you maintained it as a sustainable level. I mean, if it's not even higher, we always surprise factor is always there. There's almost something that we couldn't predict. How can Britta, the one who is playing different hats in life, being a mom, being a wife, and being a senior director with also a very huge network due to your previous also roles in the analyst relations, where you have been recognized globally. How did that add the added value and that uniqueness with everyone keeps looking at the RSA flavors, whether it was APG or the unplugged or even the US one? How did that impact this effectiveness?
Yeah, that is a big question. And you think about, if it wasn't Britta, if it was someone else in this role, something different would be brought to it. If it was someone, yet again, all of us are a product of our experience, and all of us bring that experience to bear in the conversation that we have. You and I, for example, I was so tickled to finally meet you in Australia, where you came to present at Unplugged, different format, smaller group, close set together. And I remember we were having audio issues in the room. So I said, just use your mom voice, Reem. Just use your mom voice. And that's a connection point that we have as mothers. Didn't have to explain what that meant, didn't have to, right? We understand immediately and intuitively because we have that shared experience what that means. And you were brilliant. You were so effective, and you were so strong, and you were so authoritative in the fabulous message that you delivered, and your willingness to share with that audience your expertise, but your career expertise, but also your personal expertise. And I think that's an important thing for all of us to remember. So stepping back to your question, what did I bring into this role? What I really enjoy about RSA Conference, and what we really strive very hard for, is to make sure we are a reflection of the entire ecosystem of the cybersecurity community. So that's legal, that's policy, that's security folks, that's business folks, that's developers who are creating software. There's a large and growing group of people and professions and disciplines that look to what we do within cybersecurity to positively impact their organizations. So to do that, to reflect the needs of this whole ecosystem, we need to make sure that we have all of those voices involved in the work that we do. So I am incredibly honored to work with a program committee of domain experts from across the globe. For US, we have over 100 folks who are involved in that program committee experience. And as you mentioned, I before I was in this role, I worked in analyst relations. I've pulled some previous analysts into program committee roles. I work with analysts as speakers. So looking at and drawing from the many corners of our careers, our experiences, and finding people that all become woven together. You mentioned at US 2020, we had that, it was that big wall. It was a tree of buttons. It actually looked somewhat similar to your logo in the background. So there's little buttons at the end of each of those circles. And there were 64 different personality types that were listed there. But one of mine that I grabbed was glue. That is what I am. I'm glue. I try to find ways to, put something together with something else. All of us have different personality types, and that was fun. That was a fun, magical thing to happen across. You can actually find the digital version of that on our website. George Takai mentioned that in the lead on, but we do want to help everyone find and recognize their unique contributions that they can make, because all of us have some experience to bear that's going to make the whole better than it would have been as parts.
The whole as better than it was been as parts.
Yes.
This is what you have reflected in all of the content of the conferences you have led. This is what you have reflected also in the relationship where you have built upon. I believe when we met in Australia, we did not only had that conference, we built a very strong bonding when we have, as you mentioned, communicated of using the mom's voice. And I've been using it with also my community and my even team and uh, my society, again bonding with the other mothers and other ladies in the, and it has been very effective. So we do have as women something that bonds us all over, irrespective of the colors, irrespective of the geographical borders. We all have something in common, which is being a mom, playing the role of a daughter, a friend, an auntie, or even a sister. We all have this common bonding where we can electrically bond and contribute. As you have said, there's always something unique in each person, and this is where we need to identify, recognize, and build upon. And this is where your community of analysts, this is where the network that you have built contributed into utilizing this sustainability and adding that magic that has been created in RSA. And even not only in RSA, in creating it within your uh, presence and even your circle of contacts or your circle of friends as well. Um, if I may put this question in this format, um, adding or having this within, let's say, purpose of contributing, I would say that Britta does enjoy. She does have a passion in contributing towards the community, and this is what really made her flourish. What does the passion, or how does it really plays role into adding that magical enchantment journey or experience that you're having, and experience the fun while you're doing it?
So where does the personal passion come from for this?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that is a really good question, and I think that is a question we all need to ask ourselves, because I do think it's important. We're effective as individuals, and then as individuals we're effective as team members, and then that team, is a larger unit in contributing to its whole when we are passionate about something. And I'm so lucky to be part of this community, and to be inspired by everyone around me. And that's where I think, for all of us, finding our points of inspiration, finding people that we can learn from, finding people we can help teach. So we're all somewhere on this journey. Um, and I do think it's important to never feel like we're done with the journey. And actually, to that, it's interesting, as we've looked at our RSA conference, um, and the stages of career that people are at. And we have a large number of CISOs that come. We have some specific programming specifically to them. We have people who are mid-career, if you will, and then many early career. We have a scholar program, we have a college day program, et cetera, et cetera. And in talking with all of those audiences, it's been interesting because those later stage career folks, people like you, Reem, CISOs of very important organizations doing very important cybersecurity work, they want deeply to give back. And that is the sign of a very strong profession. That is the sign of a very that's the sign of a very productive community, when we recognize and see and embrace really that opportunity to take and give back. So for me, that is where the passion comes from. That is where the inspiration comes from. Helping to make those connections happen, also capitalizing on those connections. You almost think of it as the energy that comes from the synapses, and these in our brain, the synapses, that's where movement and ideas and things come from. If we take and apply that to our community as a whole, when we can find those moments to make connections, to help help energy, help goodness happen, that's what inspires me, and that's where the passion comes from. And is it hard? Absolutely. Are there difficult days? Absolutely. Just like for all of us in life, right? There's good days, there's more challenging days, and usually those more challenging days are the ones we remember and we learn from. and probably change and form us in different ways. So that's the passion for me, comes from people like you, and that's where the energy comes from. That's always pushing us to do just a little bit more, be a little bit better.
Actually, I can just say back that what you have answered is also reflects back that you are also an inspiration, and we're like a connected dots where everyone gives a passion and aspiring and thriving towards a role model where we really capture each other's reflection, and we would love to contribute back. When you touch the contribution part, when I have attended before RSA as an attendee, then the last visit or attendance for me as a contributor, putting the contributor hat was truly different. Yes, it would be wonderful to attend sessions and have the knowledge, but going into that experience where we really want to also, uh, let's say, encourage more ladies to get into that position and putting that hat of a giver. I have experienced a different experience. It was overwhelming. It was hectic, yes, to prepare. It was a burnout to worry, and many things to have in our back minds as women when we do speak on a stage in front of audience from all over the globe, especially when we're coming from other cultures. Having that burden, but trying that experience and getting the feedback, it really makes it all worth it. So what's your intakes or your insights, Britta, in encouraging other women to get into that stage, to put the hat of a contributor, a giver, rather than attendance? Yes, you can do that, but let's what will be your words to actually encourage them to put that hat and to let them know how much they are impacting their societies by doing so?
I love that word giver. I've thought about it as a speaker, but you're absolutely right. You're a giver. You're a giver who is sharing experience. Um, the RSA conference is huge. It's a very large event, both the physical footprint as well as the reach that sessions have online. The people who are looking to that, journalists who are contacting the speakers, it's a large reach. It's a big stage. Big stages are great for some folks. It can be a little nerve wracking for others. Um, I would encourage everyone, again, everyone who's listening to this, all of you have some piece of passion and some area of expertise. That expertise may be fully developed. That expertise might be somewhere you are striving to further grow. Find ways and places to get involved. This forum, this community is great. I think what you've done, and your motto of empower and secure together is incredibly inspiring. Find places to meet together, to grow together. It may be small local events. It might be a larger event. It might be a group that you're starting. Find somewhere where you're comfortable contributing, because you do have expertise. You absolutely have expertise, and you have something to learn. Likewise, you can be a giver and a taker, and have that balance with you throughout your entire career. um, RSA conference, we absolutely welcome all the different voices. We need all of the different voices. It's just like thinking about, Reem, the security teams that you put together from an operational standpoint. You recognize the different areas of expertise, the different directions people are coming from, different things people are focused on. As women, we naturally focus on some different things than our male counterparts do. We need each other. We need different perspectives. We need different ways of seeing things. We try to reflect that, in our conference programming, to make sure those different voices come to bear, to make sure different voices from across geographies, different genders, different work backgrounds, different. There's so many different layers of that diversity word, and your voices, you listening to this, are incredibly important to have in that mix of the conversation for the industry as a whole, so that we can better secure our organizations.
Amazing. And to add to that point, when you said your voices, you have been through, I believe you have experienced various women speakers throughout the RSA conferences in different platforms, different areas and regions. What do you foresee the potentials of our women in cyber? What do they have? What it takes to add that value to be a great giver? What you have foreseen throughout this past periods and experiences where you have been involved in?
Oh, absolutely. We have capacity, and the sky's the limit. Um, I do think, and making generalizations is difficult. But I'll make some generalizations, Reem, just based on your and my personality, since we're here. We're perfectionists, right? We want to get it right.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we give, we're givers, 110%. We want to honor the time
Yes.
of those who are in our audience. We want to honor the time of those who are contributing. Um, we need to cut ourselves a little slack. We need to recognize we have expertise within us. We have, and once we get past the worried about stumbling over words, or oh, I'm not as good as, or if only I was, finding that belief in self, um, is 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 an empowering recognition, and that's where, my mom's quote: "There is no growth in the comfort zone. There is no comfort in the growth zone." Being a little bit uncomfortable is not a bad thing, and we need to make sure we're constantly pushing ourselves. And I would strongly recommend all of you, find somewhere to contribute. Do submit to be speaking. Um, don't, I hate the word rejection. Um, Not every session does get accepted in every form. Don't take that as don't let that weigh you down. In life, we are going to have times where things that we propose aren't accepted for whatever reason. That's not a mark or a reflection on us as individuals. Um, Use that as something to grow from. Pay attention, ask questions. When someone submits and their session isn't accepted, we have, those come straight to me, and I read through and I look at the program committee's notes and I look at what the submission was, and it's a very personal. It's not an automated straight response back. I will give people very specific feedback. I will work with people, um, for as long as they want to work with me. Many people, I've known people for several years, that's how I met them. And I celebrate and get so excited when I do see them having success on the RSA stage or other stages. Find ways to grow from those experiences.
Amazing. And when you just said about even if that's rejection, and then it's not never a stop, or and we always have says where a door is closed, another 10 is opened, and everything happens for a reason. So stop staring at that door and look toward the other opportunities that's coming from that chance. And we always look at everything as opportunities. And when you said regarding the always relating, and I can see when you give examples in career, you always map it to life. And actually uh, our lives is some form of these careers. And when we run our careers, actually it's a part of a pattern where how we run our lives or how we mandate our lives. Sometimes managing your time and being a CISO of your life, a successful one, means that you're being a successful CISO in your company or a leader as well. Having that said, and again tapping on your beautiful young two girls, we have known that you have always encouraged your girls to draw outside their lines, to thrive and pursue their dreams. What are your takeaways, or what are your insights, and let's say your magical tips to our women in cyber, not only within the Middle East, all over the world, for them to thrive for their dreams and to pursue their potentials, and to be utilizing their inside power or internal powers as its maximum?
Ah, I think there has been no better time to be a female in this industry. I think there's a greater recognition now than perhaps there's ever been. of the power and importance of diversity. You can look at it. You can look at it very, if you look at it foundationally from just purely business, logical, sensical, you need to make sure that teams are diverse. Full stop. There are so many amazing, amazing examples of businesses that have not only done well, they have thrived because of that recognition of the importance of diversity. Emily Heath, who was the CISO of United Airlines at the time, gave a great session on our South Stage keynote stage in, I think it was 2019, about how she had built her team and what she had done. And their team, she had people from 23 different countries and all the different backgrounds. They were very purposeful in constructing and putting together a highly diverse, no matter what measurement you gave it, team that was, it was the gender mix was about 50-50. It was full stop. And what they were able to achieve as a company because of that diversity, not in spite of, because of. And leading organizations are recognizing diversity is something that's making them thrive. So as women embracing and really capitalizing on this wonderful power that you have, this wonderful perspective that you have that is very unique. This is not a handicap. This is actually a special superpower that you have, and recognizing that. Coming out, perhaps, again, back to my mom, go out of your comfort zone a little bit, push yourselves, find where you want to grow, find a mentor in that area. Recognize that there's many different, traditional and non-traditional types of mentors out there. And again, reflecting back, to the good spirit of this organization, and URIM in particular, that's a CISO who really wants to take and lift and help people grow. We're surrounded by reams in this industry, and we're super lucky. Find people like that who will work with you and inspire you and push you to grow, and take some risks. Find something you want to do. Visualize yourself 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Find ways, I think, personally and professionally and community minded, because I do think the importance of all of us as well-rounded individuals, that's how we're going to better contribute to all these different pieces. And the world needs all of us. The world needs all of us running in all of those different ways and looking out for each other, and pushing growth.
Amazing. And when you tapped on having mentors, where we, as you said, the world need all of us, where mentors also can guide and help and contribute into the next generations of cyber warriors, future leadership, and all of that. And we have just recently, in our Women Cybersecurity Middle East, we have just recently launched our mentorship program, because we believe in that commitment, and we owe this to our society. We owe them to give them all what we can to guide them through for the coming days, and to equip them with the cybersecurity tools to be able to thrive, and give them all the cheat sheets, if we can call it, for the challenges that they're going to face. And this is where mentorship really relies in giving them all the heads up, instead of them going through the hassles and trying it themselves and going through these burdens. We're just giving them heads up how to avoid it or how to manage with that. As you have said, Britta, it's really about all of us working and the world around each other, where the world needs all of us. So we're complementing each other in different roles, both genders, diversified community. And I believe the superpower in you, Britta, is always in keeping us enchanted. In every chat I have an opportunity, and I'm blessed for this privilege to have a great person like you in my life, where you always enchant all of us, and to creating that new passion, developing this new careers and objectives, where we need also to thrive more, where we need also to go above and beyond. Thank you so much, Britta, for this magical session. Thank you so much for this insightful thoughts and experience being shared. We really appreciate your generosity in thoughts, in passion, and encouraging all of us. Thank you for being a great role model in our cybersecurity women community. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and all of you, please continue to contribute and help this industry to be better.